All
right, and we're live. Ready for
these headphones are not loud at all.
Well, it's okay because nobody wants to hear you.
Shut up. Stop breathing. Do us all a favor.
Welcome to the latest episode. I guess we would call it episode of our Unhinged Tech Show on Wednesday night, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can figure out the other two time zones. And of course, it's me. And then we've got English Dan, for those of you who are happy to see him here. And then we have a special guest on tonight, the real Joe Hussey, also known as Chasm. Don't worry, YouTube channel coming in 2019.
That's right. 2019, people. Mark it on your calendar.
It's coming. Be ready.
I think he's still trying to wrap up a collaboration with Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
I still have I have a whole 4 videos out or something with a total of 12 views.
Hey, that's good.
Lately, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, videos lately have been utter trash. I've had a couple that have turned out all right, just because I got lucky, not so much because of the actual content that was there. But most of the stuff I put out lately, like my earbud reviews and stuff like that, stuff that's usually good,
been terrible. Me too. Terrible.
I got a whopping 200 views in a week on something that would normally have several, not several, maybe 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 views maybe. But yeah, the whole tech scene, consumer technology on YouTube, not been going so great lately.
Nah. Anything I do sound cool normally flies out the gate. And that trans speaker, right now, it's been up for 2 or 3 days. There's 142 views.
Ooh, man, all that YouTube money.
Maybe
you can use it to buy yourself a better camera and microphone.
You can't use that excuse anymore because you know the new iMac's coming. And then when the iMac's here, you're going to be like, oh, man, I look like crap compared to you on my crappy Windows gaming PC. What can I tell you?
You're still going to have that front camera on the iMac.
No.
What are they, 720p?
No. 60 frames per second. Logitech webcam. All right. So I look beautiful.
That's what I got.
Do you really?
Yeah, a 920.
Doesn't do anything for you.
No, I'm still ugly.
Yeah, the camera's not helping any of us. The funny thing is, though, is that I should have lined this up in a different order because you got 3 different stages of hair development here. Dan over here is basically bald, and then I've lost half my hair, and then Joe. For some reason or another, still has a full head of hair. So
I know you're the oldest one in the group.
The funny thing I worry about. See, I got to worry about being able to get a haircut over the next couple of weeks, and here Dan, of course, doesn't have to worry about cutting his hair, and then you got to worry about running out of hair gel.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to resort to shaving my head or something.
You getting any echo? Because I've just had to take these earbuds out. My jabbers make you guys sound like.
Oh man, you sound so much better now. No, there's no echo.
Really weird. That was my job.
Hey, Dave, welcome. And Jiffer, that's funny. So apparently I'm being talked about on Front Page Tech because I'm the only one that's making BlackBerry videos.
You found your niche.
Well, it's not so much that I ever found this niche. It's that I've always been a BlackBerry person. And, I've said this the last couple of times we talked about it. My very first videos were BlackBerry videos. I got into the business of making YouTube videos because I wanted to get to a point where my channel got large enough that BlackBerry would send me phones for free and I didn't have to keep buying them.
Nobody cares.
Well, finally, I got to that point and they're going out of business. So, I mean, either way, I've got 12 of these things. So that's funny.
And it's not nearly as bad as what you went through.
What's that?
I was a Windows Phone fan, so
Windows Mobile OS.
Windows 10 Mobile, the 10 version of it
was slick.
It was not bad. I didn't start using it until it was on the way out the door, kind of like BlackBerry 10 was. But for what was there, it was really efficient. I mean, it was nice. It was well organized. It was easy to use. It didn't have 5 million steps like Android or 5 million and a half steps.
Live files, and it was so smooth and fast. It was nice. I loved that UI. It was shame that nobody else wanted to put any work into it.
No.
Yeah, I wish they'd go open source with it. And somebody mentioned this the other day, in one of my videos about BlackBerry 10. Of course, they're not going to until they eventually, put it out to pasture completely because it's still on life support maintenance mode, so they can keep some basic functions going. But it would be nice if they would go open source with it, like Linux, so people can continue to develop it. And if somebody actually did anything with it or did something, I mean, I would be happy with that. But yeah, Windows Phone. What was the big one? Was it the 1020 or the 10? Was it the Windows
1020? But then you also had the HTC 8X. That was a pretty good one as well. And
Yeah,
Samsung did one as well.
that thing was a
The 15. Was that the one with the 42 megapixel camera on it?
Yeah, that thing was huge.
I love that thing.
1020 had that huge megapixel camera.
Yeah.
Hey, Ivan, Adam,
Cam, my man.
I had so Adam says he had the yellow 1020. I had the red 1020, and I love that thing. I used to be on the Crackberry forums all the time, and there was a dude on there because we had our own marketplace for buying and selling stuff. This was before Swap was around, and I traded him something and paid a certain amount of money. I don't know what it was, but I got that 1020 and totally loved the thing, and it took some fantastic pictures. I need to go look and see if I still have some because we have like one of those butterfly museums at our Museum of Natural Science here. And I took a whole bunch of pictures with it when I went for my son's field trip, but cool phone.
Yeah. Like I say, whichever one had the 40-something megapixel camera, someone late last year, I was looking at it on Twitter, they were taking photographs and they were comparing it with modern cameras. And that sucker held up big time. It was taking some amazing photographs.
Well, it has that Zeiss lens in it. I mean, before Zeiss got in bed with Nokia, with their latest round of phones, because Nokia went the way of the Dodo, and then the Windows Phone went the way of the Dodo, and then Nokia was using them with Windows Phone because they were really the only ones making it. But once they started making Android phones again, they kept that and rolled it over. And I had a Nokia 8, the first edition, and it took some pretty good pictures. I took it. My family and I went on vacation on a cruise, went to Cozumel and stuff, and I took a bunch of pictures. And the interface totally sucked. I mean, it was glitchy, but they eventually patched it. But the camera itself took good pictures.
Yeah, I enjoyed Windows.
Pictures. I mean, that's a high quality lens they used to put in those. I mean, my 1520 took incredible pictures for the time period.
Still good now. I bet if you dug that out, if you still got it, and went and put it up against your S20 on just regular old point and shoot, you'd be shocked. I
should probably check that out.
Well, I did pull the BlackBerry out because I was taking some picture samples with the V60, and somebody in jest made a joke about the selfie camera on the BlackBerry. You did. Someone had took one. It doesn't hold up as well at all. Definitely not in low light. But some of these older cameras, if you got ideal lighting for them, because they don't have a whole lot of the other stuff going on that helps control the image processing or the photo shooting itself, but the straight up lenses and the cameras that they had took good pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jiffer here is excited about the Windows Phone.
Duo.
And you say new Windows Phone rumor. I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, they announced the thing, in like November this last year, whenever they had their thing, because it's like, oh, it's amazing. Oh, we gotta wait a year. So, I mean,
I don't know why they did that. It's like Google with their new earbuds. What did they do? They shown them off like 8 months before they were due out. They're still not out now. So
maybe what it is they're throwing the stuff out there early enough to kind of field interest while they have a prototype model, and if enough people like it, then they decide to go ahead and follow through with it, and if not, they say just kidding.
That's got to be the only reason to wait a year before release.
Yeah, I mean,
product. I mean,
that's a long time.
Well,
is it past your bedtime, Dan?
Huh?
Is it past your bedtime?
Old man here. I'm not the oldest here tonight, though. There you go. See? Yeah.
Hey, him and his gel hair is all spry over there, and you're yawning and getting ready to fall asleep on us.
I know. I've had a long day. What can I tell you?
All right, so since we do have a special guest on, so it's funny because we always have special ed Dan, and then we have special guest Joe.
I'm on the window licker, Adam.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the channel coming in 2019?
The channel that's coming in 2019. Well, I haven't really. I'm trying to figure out where I want to be with the channel. To be honest with you, I like doing the basic stuff that you've seen so far, like the talking head kind of let's talk about a subject and let's get your feedback on it, kind of thing. As far as reviews, I'm working on getting a little bit better at editing before I put any of those out.
Well, I mean,
it's just been a process between work, and it's taken longer than I expected. Let's put it that way.
yeah, like whenever you first get into making videos, I mean, yeah, and everybody that sees you on Twitter knows that you've got a lot of insight and perspective on tech. I mean, you probably have more phones than me and Dan combined, and I got a lot of phones, and Dan goes through a lot of phones, but we've seen your phone library on some of your pictures and stuff you shared. It's like you got stuff going back to like Zach Morris days, and so. It's not a lack of information for you to share with people. So I know it's just getting the camera stuff going, and then editing is a big thing. And nobody really.
And once you got past that first one properly, where you're adding bits of B-roll and things like that, it becomes easy. It really does.
I'm sure.
That first time, it's rough that first time. And once you get over it, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. I've just done a video tonight, my edifier, from go to upload was 2 hours.
No, hey, that's really fast. Mine, ever since I started doing stuff and editing on the computer, I've gotten a little bit better at making videos, and I just started putting I started putting audio in there because I could never get the audio right with the phone. It would never let me do the levels right. So now that I have more tools,
I was saying hi to someone.
Oh yeah, so now that I got more tools at my fingertips, and I've been making slightly better videos from a technical perspective, whether you like the content or not is a whole nother story. But I've been making technically better videos. It does take more time. When I used to just do like a case or some earbud videos, and they were under like 6 or 7 minutes as actual video time, it usually took me about 2.5 hours to get everything done. But there was very little that went into it, editing wise. So it still doesn't. Right now, I mean, depending on what I'm doing. So like I did an earbud review today, and the actual video portion probably took me like an hour and a half to get everything right. And then probably like an hour and a half or two of editing. So probably about 4 to 5 hours if I really, put some extra effort into a video nowadays. But some of them go up to about 8 hours. I could do something as fast as probably 3 if I were trying to hurry along.
Yeah, it's just, the process part of it, I'm still trying to get under my thumb a little bit. I haven't been doing any scripting at all. So anything you see that I do is just me talking to the phone.
I press go.
I got the Galaxy Fold, which I found out kind of wasted money on camera because the Fold does a great job for what I need.
Editing on the iPad Pro. I've been doing that this week, editing on there with LumaFusion. If that sucker had a proper stabilizing program, I would return the iMac that's coming on Friday. I can edit on that so much quicker than what I can on Final Cut Pro, and it still looks the same at the end product. That thing there, if you've got an iPad, you've got an iPad, haven't you, Joe?
Yeah, I have LumaFusion too, and honestly, it uploads faster. I mean, everything processes.
My video tonight is 6 minutes and something long because it's so easy to cut all the breath out. When you pause for a breath, cut all that out. But then when you upload, like you say, when it's exporting, it exports quicker than real time. It's crazy. It's so good, and then it uploads so fast to YouTube. I don't understand it, but it makes making these things so much easier, a lot easier.
When I was Gary, real quick, he popped in here. Whenever it came to doing the videos on my phone, when I was using like the Note 10, I was using whatever that app was. I can't remember.
Power Director.
Yeah, it would export videos super fast.
Yeah, and
then I could upload them super fast. I guess it did some great compression stuff, and I got so spoiled with that because now most of my videos are around 9 to 11 minutes. And they take typically about an hour and a half for me to upload them straight from my PC to YouTube. And they take about 10, 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to export, which is not bad because I've got the graphics enhancement on using my video card to export. But the upload times are terrible. But I'm talking 6 to 8 gigabyte files now in some cases. Dan's gone for a second, so we'll probably get a few more viewers.
I'm closing the door because the wife's decided she's cleaning the kitchen, and it's like bang, boom, bang, bam. Surprised you can't hear it. So
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, so there's some recommendation from Jiffer down here and Cam talking. So just for some insight on mine, what I do when I record a video, I record the intro, I record the I record the intro, and then I'll record the main body part of where I'm actually talking about the product. And then I'll go in and overlay the B-roll over that. So if it's an unboxing, I'll shoot the entire unboxing beforehand, and then I'll splice it up and fit it in there. Or in some cases, just roll it out completely, do a voiceover, and then plug the end onto it. But typically, that's what I do. Cam, no, I shoot in 1080p at 60 frames per second.
See, I do 1080p at 24 frames a second, but the way my workflow goes is before I do anything, I press go and I do my talking head part. Just ramble away until it finishes, and then I go and do all my B-roll, and then when I come to the edit, I make it fit with what I'm saying. It's so much quicker for me, and I can chop up my video. You know, I may have a 15-minute video, but at the moment, I'm able to chop that much out of it. It's coming down. Oh, I don't like that bit. Chop it out, and I can make it work so much easier. That's how I get to do it so quick, because I don't have to go talk about this bit, then go and film this bit. My unboxings are just there while I'm talking. You don't need someone to tell you, hey, this is a pair of earbuds. Hey, this is some rubber tips. Hey, this is a USB cable. That's the way I see it. So I just
describe half my audience.
Huh?
You just described half my video.
The way I see it is I don't need to tell you that, because you can see what's coming out of the box. So that there saves me 30 minutes. So
it makes sense if you think about it, because you see the videos that a couple that I have actually done, and it's all talking head basically. So the easy part for me would be to just add in the B-roll later.
That's it. It just goes over.
I like to just run through it all in one shot and just get what I want to talk about and get it over with. You know.
Yeah. And see, before I go into talking about a product, because typically I use a product for at least a week before I even go ahead and do my review. So I can know I've tested it, I've used it, I put some mileage on it, and I made myself familiar with it. So I already know what I want to talk about by the time the video comes around.
Yep.
And since I already know what I want to talk about, I know what sections that I want to have B-roll for.
Mm-hmm.
So my talk, even though I don't use an outline or a script, I have a direction that I'm going. So when I go back and shoot the B-roll, or sometimes I'll shoot B-roll before I'll even start talking, because I already know where I'm going to plug it in once I get to the video. So very much a lot of it is just talking head stuff. And then we'll go into that. What in the world is, who's this person?
I have no idea. You all use Chinese phones, weirdo. Well, what do you think? It's made in the middle of New York somewhere?
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's gone now.
All right.
You're going to hop in here and talk about people using Chinese phones. Where in the world do you think they come from?
Yeah. You better move out of your house and live in a log cabin, dude. God. Yeah. People are just whatever. Anyway, let's not be rude. I try and do my very best on this live stream, and it's very tough.
It is. You know, if you want to host a live stream on your inner channel sometime, and you can
I can go for it. I'll just potty mouth all the way through it, because I don't know how I have not F-bombed on this once yet. It's been very, very fortunate.
No, you haven't. I've been very proud. There's been once or twice where I'm like, where a word has come out, but it's not been too bad. You did get us demonetized for the show with Scott Peachy.
What?
Yeah, I guess I think you dropped an S word or something like that. But I looked at it and it was like, limited. It's like, dadgummit. I knew as soon as I heard that word drop, because it's a
word, STSCRO.
What?
I called you it in the.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Part of the male genitalia.
Well, it is always on your mind, so it's bound to slip out every once in a while.
Because I speak to you every day, and you're looking what a great big anyway. So, what's up, Jason?
Good. Howdy. Welcome, Jason. Drew, man, we got a lot of people in here tonight. It's been a long time since we've had this many people to hang out with. So it must be really bored. But I'm glad I did finally get a link out in advance. So I'm learning this stream thing and the StreamYard as we go. So I was able to go ahead and put out the link in advance and told people, hey, go ahead and set a reminder. So I know I like the time slot where we're at. The only thing that is a little frustrating is we did talk about some of this with Scott on Monday, because we kind of overlap with his stream a little bit. You know, maybe we might look into pushing it back one day, like half an hour, just because we can't ever go interact with his stream and he can't interact with our stream. So we might look into something like that. But I still think Wednesday night is a good time.
Oh, yeah. But Wednesday night, 9 o'clock for me would work fine. 9 till 10 instead of 8:30 till 9:30. Don't matter really when it comes to that. It's neither here nor there.
Well, if you think about it,
now, Dan,
What?
you're gonna maybe till 9 o'clock.
Hey, Wednesday night, I pop my blue pill and I'm ready for it. Okay.
Oh, I don't need to know that.
I'm talking about nothing else. All right.
you know, here, sorry, Dave. You know, with Monday, the reason I didn't send out a notification, we didn't actually decide we were doing that stream till like 15 minutes before it was happening.
Yeah,
there were still questions.
I hadn't planned on being here because nothing had been mentioned up until about an hour before the show. I'm like, dude, I'm playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What?
So we had talked about it. The idea came up, and I was talking to Scott. I don't remember how the idea came up, but it was like, we should have you on the show and talk. So we were going to do it like last Thursday, but something came up, I think on his end and on Dan's end, and then we didn't talk about it. And then Scott messaged me on Sunday, and he's like, hey, so we're going to do it this week? And I'm like, well, still the same thing as last week, either Monday or Thursday is the best. Talked to Dan. Dan said, yeah, Monday is best for me. And then I didn't hear from him. So then I messaged him on Monday, and he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to, yeah, we can do it tonight. And then I was like, all right, what time? And then who's going to host? Are you going to host? He's like, oh, I thought you were going to host. I'm like, that's why I want to work this stuff out. And then like 30 minutes before we got ready to show and do it, or maybe an hour, I hadn't talked to Dan because I hadn't heard back from Scott. And he's like, all right, we doing this or what? I'm like, sure, we'll do it in like an hour. So then I messaged him. And then he had to dry the baby off, take the souffle out of the oven, tell all of his 14-year-old friends on Call of Duty he had to go.
Plus, I looked like I just climbed from under a bridge. So I was like, God. If you think look back now, last Monday's stream, I literally looked like I'd been mud wrestling a crocodile.
Surprised you did first, Dan. But
I got some stuff here. Are you able to run custom ROMs on the BlackBerry? I don't know about that. And about as custom as you get, there are BlackBerry
locked, so totally secure bootloader locked because of the
bootloader is completely locked. Yeah, you can't. The only thing you can do is you can get some of the apps. So if you like the BlackBerry experience on like the Key 1 or the Key 2, you can get some of the apps from the Android Play Store. Like I think you can even get the hub and set it up. But honestly, I'm not a big hub fan. I disable it on my Android BlackBerry phones, but some of that stuff is out there. What I really wish, and if any of y'all actually use BlackBerry 10, it had the best clock on it ever. Like the factory clock that was set up in there, especially if you got the Porsche model phone, because it had like the little Porsche clock and it had the best alarm, so easy to use. And I really wish that they would put that in like an app to where you could get it. And they just have not done that. So I don't know if there's something super secret about their clock, but surprisingly, that's the one thing that's missing from BlackBerry 10 that I'd love to have on Android.
Did you see? Now, I know somebody who works in retail with a carrier, let's say, and they told me that the OnePlus 8 Pro is $799.
That's crazy. I thought it was going to be higher because when we were talking the other day, you were trying to say it was going to be like 900.
He's telling me $799, and it's going to be on Verizon, and they're going to have the Pro model too. And on the Verizon one, it's going to be loaded with bloat. And the Pro is the Oppo Find X2. Same camera setup, the lot.
Talking about bloatware, this V60 I got, since they don't have an unlocked model, they're all carrier models, and I have not had a carrier model Android phone, much less an LG, in a very long time. And it's got like 3,000 preloaded apps on it, and it drives me crazy. Huh?
As a T-Mobile version, because they're like the lightest of the lot.
They are, yeah. I mean, AT&T is like the worst.
Maybe Verizon, and then
AT&T was terrible. But yeah, there's more bloatware on there than I would like for sure. So, what phone are you using right now, Joe? Other than the Fold, what's your other devices?
iPhone.
Yeah, still the XS Max. I can't. It's easy. I had the 11 Pro, and I was like, it's not really much of a different experience, so it went right back. The battery life though was insane on that thing.
You didn't find a big difference in the camera?
The camera was good. I mean, compared to this camera, it was definitely a step up, but not enough of a step up to keep it.
Fusion.
Huh?
Said the Cold Fusion pictures.
You know, the cameras were good, but they weren't, so good that it really made a difference for me with the XS Max. About the same, honestly. The battery was the big difference.
Hmm.
That thing lasted almost as long as my XS Max with the battery case on it.
Yeah, that's really the big selling point for me, and I'm actually tempted. And I was talking to my wife about this morning because I make iPhone content once in a blue moon, and I've even made some Samsung stuff. And like my recent Samsung S20 Ultra unboxing has like 450 views to this day. I just don't do a lot of flagship stuff, mostly Samsung and Apple, just because nobody watches it. So I was telling my wife, like, somebody asked me if I was going to get the iPhone 9 or whatever they're going to call it, and I was like, maybe, but I'm not going to make any videos with it because absolutely nobody's going to watch it. So it's not going to make me any money. It's not going to get me any extra subscribers, but I'm interested to see because I love the iPhone 8. I like the size. I like the form factor, but the battery was so terrible because it was so small. So my hope is with the new Apple processor and iOS 13 and all the things they've been able to do, if they could squeak out the battery life on something that size, I would be all about using it.
All right, let me answer this question here. Or somebody said it. Is it Inoiso? OnePlus keeps getting more expensive. I'm starting to wonder how you can call it a deal. Pretty simple. It's $600 less than the Galaxy S20 Ultra.
Bing.
With the same
So
size.
there we go. They get straight away. It's a deal. And in this day and age, when phones are costing you $1,000, they're still undercutting everybody, and you're getting the same, if not better, performance and specs. So they are still a deal when it comes to it. It's just bigger numbers.
Well, and there's also there comes a line. I mean, they're still trying to stay substantially less where you can say, okay, it's still enough that people will consider them, but you have to increase the price to be able to get all this stuff in there. And with the 7 Pro, everybody complained, oh, it doesn't have IPX certification. It doesn't have wireless charging. Huh?
Neither does the 8.
No, but I mean, it doesn't have
wireless charging from what I saw.
The wireless charge doesn't have an IP rating.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think they just don't pay for it. I'm pretty sure the phone's fairly waterproof.
You've seen it like the 7, yeah, exactly.
Like Motorola waterproof.
Yeah, it'll be all in there, but no.
Well, I think it is supposed to have like 30-watt wireless charging.
Yeah, and that's also not
only on theirs though.
Yeah. Now, if you throw another phone onto that wireless charge, you're only going to get 5-watt Qi charging.
Right.
Well, I guess they don't want you to use. I'm sure there's some safety concerns though, because when you have
the battery, you see, because of heat, there's going to be that much heat going on it, and that's why they're going to do it. Because if someone goes on there and throws that Galaxy Ultra on there and it tries to, you'll be by the time it finished to be like, dang. So
it'll look like a Note 7.
That's what I said. Exactly what it'll be. So,
you know, I remember when the Note 7 came out, and I really wanted one because, of course, they skipped the Note 6. They went from the Note 5 to the Note 7. I thought that thing was gorgeous.
It was my favorite Note ever.
It was the best looking Note ever, and I didn't get one on launch. I was going to go out and get one, and then they started having all those problems, and then I couldn't get one. And it was like, I even thought about having. It was funny because they did release the FE version in South Korea that you could still pick up, but it was like they couldn't come up with something better. Because as soon as I heard FE, I'm like, Fire Edition.
Yeah, exactly. What?
I don't know why they did that, but I always wanted one because it was such a beautiful phone. Maybe I should try and pick one up now.
You can get it.
You can get a Fan Edition, really.
Yeah. No. It's the Fire Edition. If I make a YouTube video with one of these things, it's going to be called the Note 7 Fire Edition. I'm sure it's been done.
Easy thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say there $705.99. I don't know what you're getting at because it's going to be $799. So if you were thinking it was going to be $706, you've got another 94 to cough up. So you're going to
be. That's 256 standard, right?
Huh?
Remember, that's 256 standard.
Yeah, 8 gig 256. There's also going to be a 12 gig 256 as well, like they normally do.
What's the memory going to be on the non-pro model or on the lower model?
On the regular 8, it's going to offer, I believe, a 6 gig 128 version and a 8 gig 256. And then on the Z, as it's going to be called, it has, I think they call it a new Destiny MediaTek processor, something beginning with a D.
I'm really interested.
It has the same camera setup as the OnePlus 8, not the Pro. The OnePlus 8 and the Lite version have the same camera setup. They both have 90 hertz screens, but the Lite is going to have the MediaTek processor.
I saw something earlier that was put out by Carl Pei, I think his name, or the OnePlus guy. Huh?
The photos?
Yeah, were those wide angle and zoom?
Wide angled, night shots, and zoomed.
And zoomed.
That's utterly mind blowing. I saw those pictures and I was like, get out of here. That looks good.
You know, consider the source on that. I don't
Right.
know. See what it takes.
They did that with the OnePlus 7 Pro, if you remember. All the fancy photos came out, and then when it came out, it was same old OnePlus.
Well, here's the thing, though. I went to the OnePlus event, and I saw the guy that was up there talking about the pictures. If you know what you're doing, you can generate those. It's not going to be point and shoot. There's too many variables in there for you to point and shoot and make something look that good. But just the fact that it has the capability to do that, if you can go in there and squeak it out yourself in the app, that to me is impressive. But sure, I care more about point and shoot. And when it came to the 7 Pro, I went out and I walked around downtown Houston. I took a bunch of pictures, and some of them turned out like mind-blowingly sharp, but they looked great.
Yep.
And then there were some of them that were like, So I'm hoping they iron out those inconsistencies, but still, they're trending in the right direction across the board for me. I mean, everything about them is going really well the last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically because they're using the Oppo Find X2 camera, the Pro camera, out of that, you're going to get a good camera. Whatever you go and look at now online from that Oppo Find X2 Pro, what a horrible long name. But you go and look at that and go and look at the photographs that thing takes. That whoops the Ultra.
We're definitely we're getting way out in the weeds when it comes to these names, like the LG V60 ThinQ 5G, the Oppo Find 2 X Pro.
It's like, what? Stop it! Just
I like it better when it was iPhone 4.
Yeah, what happened? I mean, really?
Nice. All right. Perfect.
Yeah, it's like, God.
I've been saying for years what iPhone needs to do is the same thing they do with their other products. It's the MacBook Pro 2019. The MacBook Pro 20. Why can't they just call it the iPhone and the iPhone Pro and attach a year model to it? That would take all the confusion out of it.
I'm with you. James Marrero. Usually what happens with old cell phones is you trade them in, and then they get recycled by Apple. Recycles a lot of their stuff when it's traded in, and so do Samsung. Old phones, they're recycled. Where you say no phone is worth more than $300, I'm sorry, you're wrong, because the screens on a lot of these new phones cost $300.
Let me put this in a little bit of different perspective. So I could easily go get the stuff to make myself dinner for 3 days on like $15 at this grocery store. Or I could go to Chili's and I can spend $20 on a meal. But it's not like, yeah, if you look at the individual components that are in these things, and the actual cost of them to make the phone, sure, they cost about $350, but we're not factoring into that is the cost of doing business, putting it on shelves, advertising, shipping, assembly, paying the workers. There's so much stuff that goes into it. Yeah, they come out with these things at the end of the year, like after they come out, and like, oh yeah, the actual cost of the iPhone 10 was like $350. Yes, there are big profit margins on there, but they need the profit margins so that they can
prototyping, all of that. Like you say,
so you're looking at the R&D
phones. $300 Beats headphones cost $36. But you see how many adverts they run on TV, and then you're driving down the road, there's Beats stuff coming everywhere. That's why they're spending the money there.
Not only that, the research and development. You got to pay those
R&D
on that phone. That's millions and millions of dollars just to design it.
Yeah, I agree. $1,000 for a phone is madness. You're right, James. It is madness, but people want this stuff to be better and better. And we're at that point now where the only thing you can do is really high-end, expensive stuff. Most people who don't care about that don't care. Like you say, you'll go and buy a $300 phone and not think about it. But a lot of people, all three of us here, I know for a fact that if the OnePlus came out tomorrow and it was $1,000, I know 3 people right now that would go and buy it. No problem. Yeah. No problem.
But you know what? If OnePlus made a $1,000 phone, that sucker would be ridiculous.
I agree.
And I don't ever question what I'm getting for my money when I pay to them. The ones that frustrate me is like Samsung, where they charge you $13.99 for this phone that's supposedly better, and then really it's only like it's $1,000 phone. I feel like I got ripped off $400 on that phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they sold it for $1,099 or $999 or $1,049, I would feel 40% less ripped off and would be happier with the phone.
Yeah, but James, they've always done that. T-Mobile, they did that with the iPhones. They've done it with Galaxies, Notes. They've done it with all kinds of things. And that V60 promo they got now isn't like it used to be, where you got cash back on a prepaid Visa card. You now got bill credits every month, so it's not really the same.
Yeah, well, when you talk about that too, I mean, yeah, a long time ago they used to have the carrier subsidies because you were locking yourself into a contract that you had to pay a $350 termination fee plus device costs if you got out of. So now to alleviate that, because used to be it was you could walk in and they had the wall and there was the free ones with 2-year agreement, and then you could have the ones that you paid $100 for, and then you had the ones you could pay $199, or in Apple's case $299, $399, whatever. So T-Mobile started the Uncarrier initiative. They got rid of the contracts, but in the event that you leave them, you can leave anytime you want, but then you owe them the remaining balance for the phone.
Yep.
So yes, if you continue to pay them for your service for 24 months, you will end up owning that phone, having not technically paid a phone payment for it. But at the end of the day, if you decide to leave T-Mobile, you're not going to get $300 for that V60 3 months from now.
Yeah.
So it's something. Yeah, it looks good on paper, and when people talk about free, it's free because you're agreeing to 24 month service commitment, which is a de facto contract. You're still in a contract. You're just not in a paying an early termination fee to leave your service, but you're still in a contract.
Yeah, no, you got to pay for that device no matter what. So,
yeah, it's all baked into it at the end of the day. So,
but it's no interest. I mean, for the most part,
business.
You're paying the full device price. You're not paying interest.
Yeah.
So it's not really a bad deal if you plan on staying with that carrier.
Absolutely.
And you want a better device, and you don't want to have to spend all the money up front. So it makes sense for some people to have carrier.
T-Mobile is great though as well. Just talking about carriers, T-Mobile is great for the likes of us. I know you're not on it yet, are you, Adam? And I don't think you're on
the Jump program.
The Jump, but the Jump on demand. I can my phone every 30 days with T-Mobile right now because I'm on Jump on Demand. I can go any phone I want back and forwards every.
So it costs per month for that? They charge you per month for that?
You just pay for the phone.
It's like $10 a month. But it covers your
Ultra now, I'd go and pay my first month's payment on it, and then in 30 days I can go and get a Pixel 4, and my payment will drop down to how much the Pixel 4 costs, and I can go from that to an iPhone, and the payment will go up. So it's just a staggered payment, basically.
Well, I think what Joe is getting at here, though, is Jump on Demand also wraps in your device insurance. So you pay like $10 a month for the ability to use Jump on Demand, but you cover insurance as well, don't you?
Nope. Mine doesn't.
Oh, well, it used to cost money. It used to be like $13 a month, which was the premium level of insurance.
Maybe it is now. Maybe I'm grandfathered into the York. Because I'm on, when Jump on Demand first came out, I went straight on it because I was allowed, at the time, you was 6 months when it first came out. Every 6 months you could change your device.
Yeah.
And obviously they changed all the way up to 30 days now. So I'm wondering whether I'm grandfathered in and I don't need that $15 insurance.
Maybe.
Because I'm on a simple choice plan as well that's grandfathered in, where I got 2 unlimited lines for $100 all in. So
you are simple, so the shoe fits.
That's right. You like that?
I'm actually I'm on the military plan that they have because they were the first ones that offered that. It was such a great deal. I got like 8 phones. I mean, I don't personally have, but all my children, they have phones, and they always get hand-me-downs from me. But yeah, it was. I remember. Huh?
Isn't it half price for military?
I don't know what it comes out to because my wife and I have always been on there. Because before we got married, and I told her it was a deal breaker. She was on Verizon before we got married. I said, look, there's 2 things that you got to do. You need to move your butt over here to this side of Houston, and you got to get off Verizon, or I'm not marrying you. And she went down
on Verizon too. Got rid of that immediately.
Yeah, but she was so worried because she lived out in the middle of nowhere. And the only thing that worked out there was Verizon. I'm like, look, honey, we live in the land of running water, and we don't have cow pastures over here. Yeah. We have cell phone service. We can use T-Mobile. It's okay.
We don't need to see
Verizon. It's like, hey, it's going to be $59 a month. You get your bill, it's $112. You're like,
Yeah, Verizon. Yeah, that is crazy. Absolutely. Sprint's the same though. I actually made a phone call to England on my Sprint phone, which is my business phone. I was on the phone for, I want to say, I think it was 22 minutes or 24 minutes, and they charged $76. What? What?
I had to call back. Like, look, I don't even like it that much.
Calling to England with Sprint. It's like, how does that even work?
On another token, though, you remember when we actually used to, well, when did you come over to the States?
2006.
Okay, so you came over after, you could already use a cell phone and there wasn't really a such thing as long distance.
Yeah.
So back in the day, and Joe will remember these days, back when they used to have Sprint and MCI and all these different phone companies, and we had a legitimate phone and you had to pay for long distance.
Yeah.
And they had these things where you could call like these different numbers and you get like 20 minutes of long distance for like $2.99, or you could make
cards you could buy. Remember
you get these cards and stuff. So I had a good friend of mine.
PIN code, you'd call the number, put the PIN code in, and then your long distance was free. They had after 7 p.m.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember.
You had to pay per text too.
7 o'clock came out every night in England was the same, free calls after 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Here's a question from Alan down there about the Jump program.
The Jump on Demand program, only the iPhone is where you have to pay a down payment. I've not had to pay a down payment with anything else. Now, you got to remember as well, they also do a Jump and a Jump on Demand. Jump is different from Jump on Demand. Jump, you can't do every 30 days. Jump on Demand, you can.
Yeah, well, I remember. So I got my first cell phone right before I joined the military. And I remember back then I used to work nights. And it worked out great because my girlfriend at the time, I worked from 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. and phone calls were free, after 9 o'clock. And so she would wait till after 9 and then call. And or back then, certain phone companies had free incoming texts. AT&T I always hated because AT&T would charge you for incoming and outgoing text. So you got 400, but really it was like 200 because you're pretty much guaranteed to get a response from somebody. So I'm glad that we live in a world now where there's essentially no such thing as long distance, and texting is unlimited.
T-Mobile now with me, I pay $15 and I can call a landline or a cell phone in England for as long as I like, any time of the day, and that's a real nice feature to have.
What I used to do with AT&T, because they charged me, they would send me before they went paperless billing got a lot better. But you remember when they used to send you the paper bill and it would be like, it would have every single text message that you sent?
I still have the paper bill. I make sure I still get it. I'm a bit old school that way.
I always felt like I was getting back at the carrier because it would cost them $12 to send me my bill in the box.
You ship the whole Bible out to you. Yeah. It's like, absolutely.
UPS would be delivering your bill.
Yeah, it'd be like
a small box.
It looked like I was a member of a book club because it would come in one of those special boxes that you'd have to like open the ends on it, and I would look at it and get that satisfaction of knowing it cost them $16 to mail me my bill, and then I would walk in and like, it's like I may have paid them $140, but I really only paid $124 because I got this back.
I was amazed with when I came over here in 2006 how far behind. Now, America's normally a lot further in front when it comes to technology than what they are in Europe. But yeah, cell phones. Like, you'd not long had SMS texting and you couldn't do video calling or anything like that. We had flip phones in England.
You're closer to China.
Huh? Yeah.
You're closer to China.
Yeah, maybe. A lot of flip phones in England, 3G phones, little LG flip phones, and they had crappy, like real horrible cameras on them. But you could do face-to-face calling in 2002, 2003.
I experienced that firsthand. I went to Tokyo in 2004, like it was like March of 2004, something like that. And I went out there, and I remember I was walking around, and there were people video calling each other, and I was still using this.
It's like what?
I was using a rinky-dink piece of garbage LG phone with a LCD screen on it with like the characters that got displayed, and you had like a snake knockoff, and I was like, "What is this?" And they weren't even talking about 3G in the US yet, and Tokyo is already on 3G. It's what took so long was for the longest time the backbone infrastructure of American cell phones was CDMA.
Yeah, that's right.
And the rest of the world was using GSM. So the rest of the world was using these unlocked GSM higher bandwidth network technologies before we were. A lot of it took a long time. And what's funny is all these sub 5G that they're using, the spectrum that they're using for that is a lot of stuff that TV broadcasting used to be done across.
Absolutely.
And it took them years to deregulate it. And that's why it went to auction 2 years ago so they could start implementing the 5G network technology. So, yeah, we're on par now with a lot of places in 5G, but
it took a while for the state. I was shocked. Yeah, I just couldn't understand it because you guys got all the newer TVs, all the game consoles, everything came first. Apart from that, when I first come over here and I was looking at the cell phones, I was like, no, what's this crap? No.
Well, did y'all have free public broadcast television over there though? Was it widespread in England? I never
5 channels. We had BBC One, BBC Two. This is when I lived there. Now they've got a lot more, but BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4, and Channel 5. They were your free channels.
Well, for us here, we had like 2, 8, 11, 13, 20, 22, 26. We had like 25 of them.
We had a lot.
Yeah, it was using a lot more bandwidth, and I think that's probably what it was. It just took so long to shut that stuff down.
The other thing is England was such a small country as well. You got to remember it's probably the size of New Orleans. I mean, it really is probably similar to that size of population. So it's much easier for England to put. It's like everything's fiber over there now, pretty much.
Oh yeah, well it's such smaller.
5G is all over there pretty much now, like proper 5G, not just like the here that doesn't work like 5G. So. Yeah, that's probably a lot to do with it. The fact that it's a smaller place, that it's much easier to roll it out. But I was just, shocked at how backwards it was here until the iPhone came out. The iPhone changed everything over here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, David has a point down there too. I mean, David's older than I am and older than Joe. But yeah, whenever I was growing up, there wasn't as many channels. I mean, it was funny because you had the antenna and you had the 2 frequencies. You had UHF and you had VHF, so ultra high and very high. And those are effectively, people get so bent out of shape now talking about, this 5G spectrum going around. It's only 5G because it's broadband technology. When it was TV signals, it was the same stuff. It's the same spectrum. They've just applied a different name to it now for phone transmission. So people are losing their minds and tearing down, like 5G towers in other countries and places.
In England, what are they doing?
And I still get HD TV through an antenna.
Yeah, I mean, why are they
on my TV today? As opposed to New York City where it's broadcast.
Because you're going to get the virus from the 5G. I am ashamed to be English. When I saw that, I was like, no.
They were burning down
the whole town. Yeah. And they still are. Idiots. I swear.
Yeah, it's absolutely craziness. But
do you think 5G is honestly necessary for a cell phone, though, at this point? I mean, we're not downloading files to a cell phone that are big enough to even need that kind of speed.
5G isn't even no
any cell phone.
Going to your laptops and things like that, tablets, things like that, where you're doing more stuff on it. Absolutely. I think 5G in a phone is a waste.
It's not something. See, consumer technology is what we have to do to finally adopt things around here. Otherwise, there would be no way to offset it. So the push to get it into the private sector is to offset the amount of money it costs, which is why we didn't get an LTE model of the new S20 phones. So it's a complete and utter waste. I would not choose to have it for at least 2 or 3 years. One, the antenna uses more battery. The bandwidth is really not that great because all we have is a sub 5G because you have to put those towers every 100 yards for you to get the millimeter wave.
Every block to get millimeter wave. That is not going to happen anytime soon.
Here's the other thing. There's already 5G technology in your home. Most people's routers, you have a 2.4 or 2.5 and a 5. Here's a very easy way to translate this for people who don't understand the cell phone technology when it comes to 5G. You put your router in the central area of your home. The closer devices that you have, you want on 5G, because if you have a 5G and a 2.4 gigahertz signal or 2.5, if you go 30 feet away into another room on the other side of 2 walls, your 2.4 gigahertz signal is going to be probably 30 to 40% stronger than the 5G, just because it's not as good at penetrating walls. It's a stronger, shorter signal. So the closer you are to the antenna, the more powerful it is and the better it works. So it's just not. It's good at transmitting data, but it's very inefficient for traveling distance. Like 4G is. 4G can penetrate 16 to 20 miles
Mm-hmm.
on one tower. So
Yep.
that's why it's taking so long to get this stuff deployed. And it's not for me to download a game or a movie faster, because we can already do that perfectly fine with LTE. It's for the connected devices. It's for things like autonomous vehicles and other things like that that need large bits of data transferred in a quick amount of time so that they can enable those applications to work. So it's not so much so Tom, Dick, and Jane can get on their phone and they can download Boom Beach 1 second faster, or so they can continue to still stream Netflix in 4K or Quad HD Plus, which they can do anyway. It's for advanced technologies and platforms,
and for laptops. You know,
I'm with you.
Hey, Dave's here. The other Dave West.
That guy in the middle, or this guy here. This is a guy that's called Real Joe Hussey, and he has a YouTube channel that's coming soon. By soon, we mean
2019, the summer.
Thank you.
Summer 2019. And also, so Gary here says Microsoft Surface Neo delayed to next year. Just saw the ad.
I didn't see that yet.
I haven't seen it. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I definitely wouldn't doubt it at all. And I saw that there was rumors originally where they were talking about having it come out in like maybe April or May.
No, I mean, even Microsoft on their website introducing the new Surface Duo and Neo coming holiday 2020.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there may be some truth to that, but we'll have to see. I still plan on getting one as long as it's not astronomically expensive. Like the Fold was a crazy expensive phone.
I don't believe that you've not got the update yet other people have.
It's because I've got an unlocked model. The unlocked models are always behind. Yeah. It has to be AT&T models.
Yeah.
Joe, is yours AT&T or unlocked?
AT&T. Did
you get the update?
You know what's weird? I have 2 different SIMs I use for personal and for work. I usually have in my work one in my main phone. When I took that out and put it into my Samsung, I wasn't getting any updates on the Fold at all. I flipped my SIM from my main device into that. All of a sudden, I got every single update.
It's because it's AT&T.
I do have to check. So I will pull the SIM out of this iPhone at some point and throw it in the Fold to see if the update's available, but I doubt AT&T has it yet. I know the unlocked models are getting it right now.
See, that's odd because mine's an unlocked model. I bought it factory unlocked at Best Buy, so I don't
change the SIM. Use a different SIM in your house. Just try it. Because some
don't have why. You put a different SIM in, and it'll kick in the updates. Yeah,
I even went into system settings and like completely cleared the cache on the system updater, the whole 9. It still wasn't giving me any updates. I had October for the longest time.
Yeah, because I've seen several. I'm on February 1 right now.
Me too.
Yeah, and I've seen several people think it was Spectacular Gadgets. She posted earlier that she was getting the update, and somebody else was.
Yeah, Max Warnbach, I think, got his too. Like a bunch of people got their updates.
And I would love it because I did not like Android 9 very much. I love Android 10. Android 10 is the bee's knees,
especially on Samsung. It's definitely improved the UI tremendously.
2.1, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely better.
It's way smoother than any of the One UIs that have come out in the past.
Yeah. Dave, I just seen that about the UK pricing as leaked, or the European pricing, and it's €1,000. I'm being told over here the OnePlus 8 Pro is $799. So I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know.
Maybe it's all totally wrong, and they're just going to come with something that's. I'd still think $900, but I don't know.
I'll wait and see. Have they even? What the launch event's going to be April the 14th, right?
Yep, next week.
I'm really curious about that, and I really, really wish that I could get in contact with somebody in the PR department over at OnePlus, because I don't know anyone over there, and I've reached out to them several
emails from when I won a phone from them. I won a OnePlus 6 off them 6T, if I remember rightly. And I've got Carl Pays, and I've got a couple of women who work in the New York office, and I've emailed them all, and I get ghosted. So
I don't know what it is. And I actually have a buddy that works with them and does like some of their local PR spots. So like when the OnePlus 7T came here, they went out and they did pop-up events. Like they did one at like the University of Houston campus and some other stuff like that. He's told me he's getting the 8. He got the 7T. He's gotten like all their last ones, and he just does these little things for them. But even he doesn't have anybody that he can give me their contact information. Yeah. I'm sure he has his own person, but that's not something I would ask for. But I would like to reach out to them. I've emailed like their normal press box or PR box and nothing. But we'll see. I mean, I'll probably buy it anyway, just because.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. That's why I'm. Joe is loaning me.
I don't have.
Yeah, that's
the one manufacturer I don't own.
I can't believe you've not had a OnePlus yet.
Never.
Oh man, you will love it.
I've heard.
I didn't get one until the 6T, and when the 6T came out and I got it, I totally loved that thing. Enough so much. I had a lot of security concerns with them. I mean, even as far back to the OnePlus, like I know it was like the 3T, I think the 5, there was like some backdoor security concerns and things like that. So I feel like once they got that sorted out so that they could finally get them in carrier stores and stuff like that over here. So I finally felt okay once they got the 6T at T-Mobile. I went ahead and I got one. And then I liked it so much, I went ahead and I got the 7 Pro. And then I went out to their launch event because they're cool. Unlike Samsung and all these other people where you have to get an invitation, they reserve a certain amount of invitations. You can go to the OnePlus website and pay $20 and get a ticket to get in. And so I like that they make it open like that. So I went up there and it was a great time.
Yeah, Dave saying there about the 8 Pro the video being tremendous. I was saying to these guys, it's the same camera as the Pro Oppo Find X2, correct? It's exactly the same. It's going to do the same binning process. So you can expect, if you want to see what a OnePlus 8 Pro is going to look like when it comes to picture quality and video, go and look at those videos. You'll find how good they are. Big step up for OnePlus this year, and that has always been their downfall, is the camera. And it's not a bad camera, it's the software. And the problem with OnePlus is they don't have a big team. That Google's camera team is bigger than the whole of OnePlus. So this is your issue with OnePlus. Hopefully they can get on top of it this year, and hopefully it really is.
You'll definitely know it's good if you don't have to put the Gcam on it.
Yeah. You put Gcam on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and that will take pixel quality photographs. Really, a
lot of phones, even some of my older phones, if I put the Gcam on there, they take amazing pictures. Not the sensors. A lot of these people are using the same Sony sensors. I mean, they're using the same stuff. It's just their camera software is garbage.
Yep. I wish Google licensed out, but that is there. They're never going to license that out because that's what sells their phones, the camera experience.
And that's what happens when people make these custom UIs and they get further and further away from the bare bones stuff. They have to program their own stuff.
Yeah, and Samsung is key for that. I mean, look at Samsung. The Ultra is a perfect example of overdoing something. So,
yep, because it's poo.
Yes, it really is. The S20 Plus is the sweet spot in that lineup.
Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, were it not for the little one.
You do?
The S20 is nice. And I really like the S10. So, I mean, the S20 is basically the same phone. They just chiseled the edges a little bit more.
Screen. Everybody makes like it's a small screen. It's not, and it's comfortable. The whole, and I have decent sized hands, but like it seems a little small, but it's very pocketable.
It's over 6 inches, right? Is it 6.2?
6.2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a small screen.
It's not a small screen by any stretch of the imagination. 2 years ago, it would have been like, oh my God, it's 6.2 inches,
Yeah, the S10 and the LG G8 both have a 6.1 inch screen, and they bumped up to the 6.2 this year. And even still, I think the S20 Plus is 6.7, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just below the Ultra.
Which is 6.9.
If I remember rightly, the first Galaxy Note, and everybody laughed at it, was a 5.7 inch screen.
No, it was smaller than that.
Oh, was it 5.4?
Yeah,
5.4 or something.
Yeah, because I remember
it was going nuts.
Yeah,
it's too huge to put in your pocket. Now we have almost 7-inch screens.
They had to create the word phablet because there wasn't a word that existed for it because it's a phone tablet. And I remember thinking back then, like, heck yeah, the bigger the screen, the better.
Well, there were 6-inch tablets back then.
Yeah, 7-inch. Look at
7-inch.
the Nexus tablets. Yeah, Nexus 7.
Yeah. So I remember.
I was talking on an iPad 11 now. You know.
I mean,
hey.
in fairness, though, a 7-inch tablet back then compared to now had like an extra 3 inches of bezel all the way around it. I mean, a 7-inch. If you wanted a 7-inch screen, you had a 10-inch tablet. If you wanted a 10-inch screen or a 9-inch screen, you had like a 12-inch. I mean, look at the original, like
the old. Here, the Note had a 5.3-inch screen, and the screen to body ratio was 66.8%.
Like this big with a 5-inch screen.
Yeah, I remember it was a big deal whenever the BlackBerry Z30 came out because it had a 5-inch screen, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, it's gigantic!" And I'm like, "Hey, the bigger screen, the better."
Look at the Apple fans. I mean, they went crazy when they went up from a 3.5-inch screen. All your iPhones were only 3.5 inches at one time, and
the iPhone
screens, they were terrible.
Wait, no, they went from a 3.5 to a 4-inch from the 4 to the 5 series.
Yeah.
And then they came out with the 4.7 inch whenever they moved up to the 6. So, yeah, but now you look at it, though, if you take an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 6 and put it next to an iPhone 10, they're effectively the same size. One just has like a 97% screen to body ratio versus like the 82% screen to body ratio. I'm throwing a number out there. It's approximate. But yeah, the phones are effectively the same size. And it's funny, though, because the iPhone 10 feels so small.
It does. It's not. I don't like it at all. The regular iPhone 10 and the 11, no, don't like it. It feels like a mini phone, but it's a big screen. It's just, it's weird.
Anyway, well, we're at an hour and 1 minute here, so I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up. But totally had a lot of fun tonight. Normally I have like these little primers and stuff on there for kind of like talking points, and then I fill Dan in like 5 minutes before we start talking about what we're going to talk about.
It's like, oh, by the way, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Now we're going to talk about something you have no idea about.
Yeah. So, actually, here's a question from Gary. No, we were just talking about it a minute ago. I haven't gotten my update, and Joe hasn't either.
Not yet, Gary. But yours is unlocked. Yours is the Korean version, so you might have an update on the way because they usually get it before anybody.
Yeah,
that's true. You just have the international version.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you do, be sure to share some of the deets on Twitter so we can be jealous and pissed off that we don't have ours yet. But thanks so much for joining us tonight. We had so many people tonight. We were actually like 20 at one point.
Damn.
Yeah. So I guess people it must be true.
They're all like, we need to know what this channel's about that's been coming for 5 years.
It's coming soon in 2019. Don't worry.
It reminds me of this. There's this Dairy Queen that was going to be combined with an Orange Julius, which I don't know. I've never seen an Orange Julius, but I've heard that isn't it like a northern thing.
Yeah, I've had them.
So there's been this
every mall in New Jersey.
There's been this sign on like a property where they're going to build it. This has been saying coming soon for like 3 years. That reminds me of your channel.
Put Joe space on it.
Thanks.
Just change your channel name to Orange Julius.
That's it, Orange Julius.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all later. We'll do this again next week. Appreciate y'all tuning in. It's been a good one tonight. So thanks a lot, and
nice.
Thanks, Joe, for coming on, and we'll see y'all next time.